Hey, David Stewart here. I wanted to do a follow-up to a couple videos I've done recently about WoW, World of Warcraft, and sort of the current state of the current expansion, which is Warlords of Draenor. And that's to talk a little bit about a very particularly annoying situation. Let's take a look here. This is my Primal Gladiator's weapon that I got from PvPing last season. It was a really good weapon for PvE and PvP, but I PvP'd with it, and that's my offhand. And I think I got rid of the rest of my gear.
Salutations.
So we look over here, and there's the problem. Item level 670, blue Spellblade. My last season competitive gear, level 660, purple Spellblade. And this is the case for every single piece. Here's my 660 neck. There's going to be a 670 blue neck. This is a big problem for the PvP season changeover. Every season before this, they've stepped up the gear. But it's always been that the previous season's gear was not as good as the new season's gear, but it was a place where you could start competing and people could buy the old gear for honor, which I'm okay with. I grind out all this gear with conquest points doing random battlegrounds and arenas, and I really wanted, because I took some time away when I came back for 6.2, I really wanted to jump back into doing competitive PvP. I'd be like, well, I have all of last season's gear. I can get into an RPG group or hop on an arena team and do arenas and have some success and get some of the new gear. But no, I have to now go do Ashran and do all kinds of casual PvP to get honor to buy this garbage. So then I can be behind already for everybody else, get hopefully back into random battlegrounds to go and get the new epic gear, which is item level 700. This is really, really annoying. I've never had to do 2 honor grinds in a row. Like it used to be the casual PvP stuff, whatever it was, whether it was Wintergrasp or in this case Ashran. It used to be that you did that and you could catch up with it, and you kind of did it a little bit every season to get off pieces and get this and that. But I've never had to completely redo that grind from the ground up for a new season, considering I had full epic gear from the previous season. I've never had to do that, and it's so... I'm looking down the barrel of that gun like I don't want to sit there and queue for random... And I want to... If I wanted to play as a DPS, the queue time is 10 minutes. Which isn't bad, but it's not good either. This was so disheartening. I leveled a new character. I leveled a rogue, and I got it pretty much geared as good as this character within 48 hours. And not that that even matters. You could get a fresh, completely fresh level 100 if you step into those casual battlegrounds. It will level your gear up to 690. So not only is this gear not useful for jumping into the new season of competitive play, it's completely useless for doing the honor grind as well. It's completely pointless to have gotten any gear in the previous season whatsoever. You're going to have to do the honor grind again, and your gear is completely worthless. The greens are better. The greens, I don't think I have any greens on this character. I'll hop on the rogue. So I leveled my rogue up. Just basically because I thought, like, if I have to do the gear grind again, I want to do it on a new character that I'm excited to play rather than on my Discipline Priest. Although my Priest is probably going to have a lot better luck finding any kind of PvP groups. Yeah. So, yeah. 625 scales up to equip, increases the item level 700 in PvP combat. So, a 625 green piece from Ashran is now better than your 660 conquest piece from the previous season that you worked hard and competed with. Like, that level of reset has never happened. It's really disheartening to look down the barrel of that and have to redo all of the casual PvP stuff all over again to try to get honor and some very basic conquest stuff to begin competing in actual PvP, controlled PvP situations. What I call controlled PvP situations. Discussing what real PvP is and world PvP in a broader sense with MMOs is like a completely different topic for completely different and a completely different story. But for what WoW considers its competitive, controlled PvP, I'll have to do all of the grindy stuff all over again just to hop in with bad or average players to start that grind back up to a high credit rating or a high arena or RPG rating. So that's really disheartening. Like disheartening to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to PvP this patch. I re-upped at 6.2 for two reasons. The first reason was because I wanted to play the new raid. I got to do the other two, not a lot, but I got to clear Highmall, which was cool, and I got to do a lot of Blackrock Foundry, though I didn't get to kill the last boss outside of Raid Finder. But I really was looking forward to PvPing because I can do it on my own time, and it's usually pretty efficient, and it's a lot of fun. It's different every time. But it looks like that's going to be a colossal grind for whatever character. So I might just play my rogue and just have it be that, because I'll have to do the grind again on my priest. I certainly won't be able to play more than one character like I'm used to doing, because I just don't think I'll be able to stand doing the grind that much. It'll wear me out. I ground out 10 like skirmish arena wins this weekend to get some conquest points, and it was hell. It was hell queuing with randoms, especially as a rogue. As a healer, you could go like, it takes you like 13 games to get 10 wins if you're bad. As a DPS, it was like, took me like 30 games to get 10 wins. It was really bad. It's really hard to do it. So anyway, that's how I feel about that. They've never done a harsh gear reset like this ever before in World of Warcraft. It's really, really, really bad. And it's really kind of offensive to anyone who counts on PvPing from one season to the next. The other thing I'll say, which I didn't mention before, and this is the other huge problem, this is actually probably a bigger problem in the long run, is the best in slot gear for PvP doesn't come from that PvP vendor. The PvP vendor sells item level 700 gear, like this headpiece right here. But in order to get something better than 700 gear, it has to be warforged or have a socket, and it has to drop out of a box. You get the boxes by doing rated battlegrounds or by doing Asheron, an Asheron quest, mind you, because this is the other really crappy part about 6.2, is they completely gutted Asheron. There are virtually no rewards for doing Asheron. It's the most inefficient thing I can imagine. I did a video earlier where I was in Asheron. You get no honor, you get 0 conquest points. You can get 500 conquest points for doing like some massive quests in there. It's really, really bad. So the prospect of trying to re-gear to PvP for Warlord Season 2 is really, really awful. That's like looking down the barrel of a shotgun. You know, just like, man, I don't want to do this. You know, I don't want this thing in my face. This is gonna suck. I've never felt that way about PvP before. I've always felt excited to gear up and to begin PvP. But the fact that you have to do the entire grind again, and the stuff that was in the game to make that initial grind a lot more tolerable, which included Asheron. Asheron was great when Warlords came out as far as getting started on your gear. Even if you didn't like Asheron, it was really efficient to do. And I actually like Asheron. I think it can be quite a bit of fun. But it's a lot less fun when you get 0 rewards for it. Then you just feel like you're trading your wills and you're not even gaining victory. If Alterac Valley awarded nothing, it would still be fun because you're beating somebody at a game. But Asheron never feels that way because it just keeps going on and on. You're just kind of there doing these pointless events that contribute nothing to you actually killing the boss. It's completely unlike Alterac Valley. Alterac Valley was a great large-scale PvP instance where you worked forward through the map trying to work on conquering and holding objectives, which helped you to kill the last boss. You burned all the towers, all the guards surrounding the last boss were gone, and you could kill him. People say, well, that's PvE, but you had to PvP in order to be able to accomplish that PvE. There were always trade-offs. This is a PvE game. PvE is part of this game. It's okay to have it in PvP. And that's a completely different discussion. The whole thing right now is that basically all your gear will scale up to 690. So if you want to level a fresh 100 and be able to do casual PvP, you're at no disadvantage. If you are like me and you did a bunch of work last season to get epics, and you're going to roll into that casual PvP, and there's going to be no advantage, but you still have to do it to get started on your most basic gear. Your most basic gear too, because now the blues for this season, not only are they 10 item levels better than the epics of last season, they scale up 25 levels higher. So your 660s all scaled up to 690. Now your 670s scaled up to 715. So they're scaling up 45 points instead of 30 points. It's really huge. I've never seen this before. It's going to be bad. So I don't know. I'll probably, if I do PvP and continue to stream, I'm going to try to just focus on my rogue and try to find a couple of people to play with to do RBGs or arenas and stream that, because that's going to be a lot more fun than doing this massive, massive gear grind in order to not even begin competing. We have to grind out this blue gear so we can start to do bad PvP to get the epic gear, so we can actually start to compete with the other people who have this gear. Like, putting that much of a gear treadmill. We're greens. The greens are better than your epics last season is ridiculous. Blizzard has never done this before, and it's pretty awful. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Warlords PvP, kind of a mess right now. Best in slot gear has to come from RNG. That's stupid. And then having to redo this gear grind is stupid. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And have a great day.